All right, mom and dad, here's the reality. Netflix now includes pornography. And I don't mean that they've suddenly just kind of put some stuff on there that didn't exist before. I'm basically saying that over time, like the frog that's being slowly boiled in the water, we have shifted in culture. And I want to say this to you so that you can catch this. When we were kids, what was considered pornography then has now been shifted down into normalized TV and what we now have as streaming services. That's basically what's going on with porn. Now, you might think it's vanilla or it's low level or whatever. It is porn. And then what is the new pornography is basically now hardcore, violent, and extreme forms of pornography. That's now when we talk about porn, right? That's now what we're dealing with. And the shift has pushed down what used to be extreme and what used to be very taboo has now become normal viewing for you and I and for our children. And then underneath that, you have YouTube vids and music vids and other things that are just basically what one leader in the industry calls pornified culture. Our entire culture, unfortunately, is becoming like pornified, and all these tentacles are out there creating slippery slopes that are beginning to suck us into the porn culture. And when we talk about Netflix, I want to share with you something that recently happened. And to Netflix credit, I want to give them credit for this. I'm not just trying to beat up on them. I'm trying to say, hey, good for you. They have put some features on here that I want to talk to you about. Some parental controls that are very, very powerful. And I want to walk you through how this works. Because when you add parental controls to your Netflix account, a couple of things are going to happen. First of all, the adult content that your kids should not be viewing, and I'm including your teenagers in this, will be filtered out of their accounts. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to get in there and you're going to create various accounts. Maybe you've already done that on your Netflix account, but you're going to do it in a new way through management of your profiles so that you can get in there and not just have an account for one of your kids, or maybe you group your kids together by age or something, but you can also filter out content they shouldn't be watching by creating what's called maturity ratings. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Secondly, what this is going to do when you activate parental controls on Netflix in your account, it's going to stop binge watching. So a lot of the times, and this is good for you, you need to help yourself with this too. So a lot of the times when you have series, or you know how it's like it suggests the next movie, or if it's a series you're watching, it's just like in 10 seconds it's just slowly loading, and then it's like next thing you know you're into the next show. And of course, Netflix's job is to keep you on their platform. That is their job. And as we are living in the times that we're living in, where who knows what's going to happen with schools, people are at home more, Netflix and streaming services, obviously, it's increasing the time that eyeballs are on this. You don't want that for yourself and for your kids. You want to control that, and I'm going to show you how. Lastly, this gives you peace of mind. When your kids have an account that has parental controls on it, you feel a ton better. Yes, can they get around it? Are the kids always going to hack stuff? Are they going to do things? They always are. But at least for your control and what you can do, you've done the very best that you can as a parent. And not only does it give you more peace of mind, say it with me, it creates important conversations with your kids. Okay, I know I say that on every single video, but it's true. Because if your kids have certain ratings and there's certain films or series that they can't watch and they desperately want to, when they get into their account and they discover that it's not there, what are they going to do? Well, hopefully they're going to come to you and say, I want to watch this certain show. And that then sparks a great conversation. Well, what is it? What's the content? Should you be watching it? Let's review it together. Do you see what I'm saying? So those are the important conversations that we want to spark. Okay, so here's the deal. Number one, what I want you to do is you need to get into your Google account, and you can go to the Help Center, or you can just jump on Google and, your Netflix account, if I say Google. Get into your Netflix account and get into the Help Center, and that's where you can learn about how to create these new parental controls that Netflix has recently rolled out. Or you can Google Netflix parental controls, and there are a couple of different websites there that you can learn how to do this, okay? But basically, you get into a place where you see how that little lock is on there? That each of these, except for maybe your kids, have these, so they, you can get in there. But the other kids, and I've grouped them by age in my family, plus my wife and I have an account. What you do is you basically set up it's a 4-pin code that you have for your account and your kids don't know. The next group of your child or your next group of kids, they have theirs. They have a 4-digit pin, which you know. And the next child has a 4-digit pin, which you know. And you're able to get in there and check out and see what they're doing as well. So the first thing you need to do is set up that account. When you get in there, you're going to set up maturity ratings, okay? And so it's like M14 or just PG-13 and whatever. And you'll see there's a bar there, and you can stop all the other R-rated stuff, TVMA, which young kids shouldn't be watching. Maybe you shouldn't be watching either, you and I. But there's some things that you should not be viewed. You can cut that out and lock that in, okay? Because you're managing their profile through your parental controls. They can't do that. Only you can. So you get in there. First thing you want to do is set the maturity rating, okay? And make sure that it's appropriate for them. Then you can uncheck the box that auto plays. So I want you to get in there and make it so that the next show or the next movie does not autoplay. Thank you, Netflix, for that. That's very powerful. Good job. Number 3, you can add specific titles that cannot be viewed no matter what the maturity rating is. So let's say that you did allow PG-13 films, but there's some that maybe even for your 11 or 12-year-old that you still know is a little too bloody, or there's some sexual stuff in there that they still shouldn't see. You can go in there and you can just type in still yet, even though they can see PG-13 films, I don't want them to see this one, this one, and this one. See what I'm saying? So that's really powerful as well. You have that control. So super thankful for that. Get in there today, and this is what I want to challenge you to do. If you have a Netflix account, mom and dad, your child should not be able to see the full library of Netflix movies and series and comedy stand-up shows. They just should not, okay? So the way that you deal with that is activate the parental controls, and I want you to do that today. All right, so get in there and activate it. It's very simple. It's a little bit of a learning curve. It's very simple. You're going to feel a ton better, and it's going to start a great conversation with your kids. Now, for some of you, as I even say this, you're like, my kids are going to freak out. What are they even? How? It's going to be a lot of pushback. You're going to set a time bomb in my family, Dean. What are you even suggesting? Okay. If that's the case, it's true. We have to work together to get our kids understanding and on board on why parental controls are important for them. And you may need help with that. I want you to visit familytechgameplan.com, and you can register to watch my free webinar there. And if you feel like you need it, you can join the online course, which then works with you and your kids together, and I'm involved. We walk through it together to get to the place where the kids are like, not just, I get it, it's thank you, mom and dad, for protecting me and keeping me safe online, okay? That might sound like a dream to you, and it might sound crazy, but look, welcome to Parenting in 2020. This is what we're doing together. Mom and dad, I believe in you. We're in the trenches together. We've got to unite together. The world is crazy, and we've got to do this together, and I hope this encouraged you. If you have any other questions or any other things that you want to tackle, just put them in the comments below, or any questions on this Netflix parental controls. Let's talk about it. I'll see you soon.